In this movie, we're going to talk about business cards. And even in today's technology-obsessed world, I still think business cards are a very viable networking tool. And if they're well done, they can really help to shape the first impression that you make on your customers. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, okay, but I'm not a designer. So how do I find some inspiration when I'm creating these things? That's actually really easy. There are a ton of sites out there that showcase graphic design projects like business cards. One of my favorite is Dribbble. And that's Dribbble with 3 B's, by the way. Just go to dribbble.com and search business card. As you can see, there's no shortage of amazing examples here to get your creative juices flowing. As you look through these, you'll notice that some of the cards look bigger or smaller than others. So you might be asking, what size should you use for your business cards? Well, there is a standard size for business cards, and that happens to be 3.5 inches wide by 2 inches tall when they're all printed and trimmed. However, you could also have the card that is 2 inches wide and 3.5 inches tall, just flipped around. Or you could even have a square business card, or a rectangular business card with round corners. Business cards aren't just locked into one size anymore. Ultimately, it comes down to the look that you're trying to achieve and the company that you select to print the cards. Some of my favorite companies for printing business cards include Moo.com, MOO.com, OvernightPrints.com, and Vistaprint. I've used all of these sites personally over the years, and they've all done a great job and have relatively affordable prices. The most important thing to remember when you're dealing with these types of sites, or any printer for that matter, is that you need to be able to read and understand their templates that they give you for designing your business cards. Let's take a look at the one from Moo.com, for example. Moo is actually really good at describing exactly what every little piece of their template means, but some companies aren't, so you need to be able to identify things like safe areas, trim marks, and bleeds. The safe area is usually the innermost part of the template. That means anything that is mission critical for the design goes inside of this area and will have very little chance of being accidentally cut off. The trim marks indicate where the card will be cut. You see, business cards aren't just printed on 3.5 by 2 inch sheets of paper. They're actually printed on really large sheets of paper and then trimmed down to their final size. You want to make sure all of the most vital information steers clear of the trim marks to avoid having it accidentally excised during the trimming phase. Bleed refers to the area around the outside of the trim marks. Anything you want to stretch edge to edge on your card, meaning background images, colors, etc., needs to go all the way out to the bleed line so that you don't have any unnecessary gaps after the trimming is complete. As you can see, these templates aren't necessarily complicated, but they're certainly not a piece of cake either, especially when someone doesn't label them properly. However, if you understand that every business card has these 3 parts, you should be okay no matter who you choose to print them. In order to build your business cards, I highly recommend that you invest in some software. The most obvious being the Adobe Creative Cloud. That way you can use apps like Adobe Illustrator to properly lay out your business cards and send them back to the printer in a format that's acceptable. You might also be able to use apps like Microsoft Publisher or Word, but in some cases, printers don't have the template files available for Microsoft Office products, so it's always best to check before you decide on who's going to print your final work. Remember, take your time when you're designing a business card. It's both a visual and physical representation of you and your business, so it's important that it looks really, really good.